Peter Weber teases major Bachelor tea. An exciting new project is on its way from Hannah Ann, Tayshia Adams, and Grocery Store Joe, plus an update on Kaitlyn Bristowe and Nick Viall. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have had an exciting week in Bachelor Nation, and we're gonna break it all down. But before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Avery Grooms.
Hi, guys. First up, we have some exciting news. Hannah Ann and Tayshia are launching a podcast together. Hannah and Tayshia and fellow Bachelor Nation Grocery Store Joe are launching a new podcast called Clickbait with Bachelor Nation. The show will launch October 1st and will feature the trio as they, quote, dissect the wildest, most ridiculous, and bizarre headlines of the week in pop culture. They will be bringing on a new celebrity guest each week and sharing stories about their own time in the spotlight. They'll be covering all things pop culture, not just Bachelor Nation. This sounds really exciting. I think Clickbait is the perfect name for this type of podcast. I know when I see headlines that are super out there, I feel more inclined to click on them. And now we have a podcast to dissect all those types of headlines so we don't have to. I think this will be super informative and entertaining. And not only that, we'll probably get to know the host even more and hear their personal experiences on Bachelor Nation. What do you think, Fiona?
I am so excited about this. I have been waiting for Hannah Ann to do some sort of something like this. She became such a Bachelor Nation fave. She is killing it on Instagram with her like recipe videos and floral arrangements. She's just such a cute personality. And I'm really excited that we're gonna get to know her a little bit more. I think she really came into her own and became a Bachelor Nation favorite, like right at the end of Peter's season, you know, with all of the drama. That's when everyone really became obsessed with her. So I'm thrilled for more Hannah Ann. We've talked about Tayshia so much over the past few episodes, but like obviously we're obsessed with her. She's amazing. We're gonna see so much of her this upcoming season of The Bachelorette. So it really is the perfect timing. I'm so curious about the Grocery Store Joe of it all. I feel like they're a little bit of an interesting trio, but clearly their chemistry must work. Are you excited to see the three of them together? I think it's gonna be awesome.
I am. I wonder how they coordinated it, like how this group became the group for this podcast, because I thought it was kind of random, but I think it'll be really interesting to see how they all bond together.
Totally. And I really do love, I think it's cool that they're choosing to take sort of like an interesting stance here. They're not doing the usual like Bachelor people talk about current season of The Bachelor or Bachelor news. Like obviously Bachelor stuff falls under that umbrella of pop culture, so I'm sure they will talk about it whenever it's relevant. But I think it's really interesting. Like why not hear Hannah Ann's take on whatever Lady Gaga's doing? Like I think it's great. We love them because of their personalities. So I love to see them branching out. Do you like the whole like kind of breaking from the norm, not just Bachelor content thing?
Oh yes, of course. And that's why I love podcasts. I think in general, they just allow for more like insight and personal understanding of someone. And we saw this with Nick Viall's podcast. I think we talked about this in a couple episodes ago, how I didn't really like him too much to begin with, but once his podcast started evolving and I really started to get to know him, I was like, okay, I like this guy. Like, you really get to know someone through this.
Totally. I think it's going to be great. And you guys, October 3rd, I mean, it's going to be here before we know it. So mark your calendars. I cannot wait to tune in. Let's move on, though, because we do have a lot to talk about today. And I am so excited to talk about this next part here, you guys. Peter Weber had fans freaking out this week. It is, of course, no secret that Peter had a wild and some may say messy season during his time as The Bachelor. And I think it's safe to say we were all curious, and I certainly still am, to know what the heck was going on behind the scenes with producers. Well, it looks like Peter might be planning on seriously spilling some tea in the future. The Game of Roses podcast did some FBI-style investigation on behalf of us all, and they pulled together a lot of evidence, you guys, that really fuels this theory that Peter is ready. He's got some sort of statement prepared. He's just holding on to it until his NDA expires, which is interesting. Of course, we've talked about this before. They all have to sign NDAs. They obviously can't reveal trade secrets during or after their season because why the heck would we watch the show if we knew it was all fake or, knew whatever wasn't actually real? So these NDAs that exist do expire at some point, and that's when you see these tell-all books or some gossip from way in the past sort of finally coming to light. Most of this theory that Peter is going to reveal some top secret details come from the comment section of his Instagram. A fan commented on he and Kelley's relationship saying, "Happy y'all are together, but I wasted my time on this season." To which Peter replied, "I'll explain myself one day, and there's just so much no one knows about yet, so it'll be good to get it out." And that already is so cryptic. But he also dropped the specific date of 3/15/21 in the comments when asked if tea would be coming in the form of a book or a show. So this, of course, is the date that fans are speculating his NDA ends. Kelley added to this theory that there is some behind the scenes business that they are not thrilled about herself on Instagram. She told a fan during an Instagram Q&A that Peter was told she didn't like him, but didn't say by who. This, of course, prompted even more speculation that there was some behind the scenes string pulling going on directly with their relationship. So I am so curious about your thoughts regarding all of this, Avery, because we all remember Kelley was like totally a front runner in Peter's season, and then all of a sudden it was just like, no, Kelley's on the outs. Peter's not here for it. It's done. So what do you think? I mean, do you think there's some like big conspiracy he's gonna reveal next year on this specific date? What are your thoughts?
I mean, their story is so different because Peter was the Bachelor and Kelley was a contestant, but they did not end up together, but they're together now. And there's just all this in between that we didn't see and we don't know. And I assume they're probably eager to share their story, but there's this waiting period and just all these questions, but they can't really come clean about anything. Hopefully this will be a chance for them to have their moment and share their story.
Totally. And one of the things that I was really like trying to go back in time in my brain and remember like what was going on with Kelley and Peter when the season was airing. And there were a lot of rumors that like producers didn't love Kelley or that like Kelley wasn't like vibing with what needed to go on the show. Like there was some pushback from Kelley like during production. And then there was that interview where she sort of said that she was trapped in a closet or something and later clarified that like interviews just like take a really long time and can be really draining. So I'm just kind of curious if the narrative that some of us are sort of familiar with, that Kelley and producers didn't exactly get along, not necessarily that it was ugly, but just in terms of being a good like performer, she wasn't one of like their stars behind the scenes. So they did what they do and tried to push forward, contestants that they thought would make better TV. And then obviously Kelley and Peter have chemistry, are a great match, found their way back to each other. And of course, all of this comes to light between a couple like, well, they told me this, you told me that, they told me this, I heard that. And of course that would be frustrating, if some version of that narrative is actually what it is. I would be livid if it took me this long to actually get to a happy place with my person when we could have ended up together on the show. Like, I totally get their frustrations.
I feel like especially more towards the beginning of the show, a lot of the attention was more on her, but as the season went on, we kind of saw it shift. So I wonder if that's when something happened, because all of a sudden she wasn't like as prominent as some of the other contestants, but it was like, wait, they had so much chemistry, like what happened? And then he was so set on her not liking him and just all this confusion. But I'm glad they still made it out together after all of that. And I wonder if this is something kind of similar with what happened with Clare. Maybe Kelley and Peter had such a strong connection that the producers didn't kind of want to egg that on. They wanted more drama. They wanted something else. And we kind of know this is what happened with Clare's season as well. She had such a strong connection with Dale from the start. They ended up bringing Tayshia in, just to keep the whole volume and energy of the show up.
Totally. That's like a really good point. Like, obviously things are so crazy with this upcoming season that like they had to roll with whatever. But that's totally a good thought. Like maybe they saw a strong connection from them early on. They worried it would get too strong that they would have no show. And so they initially put up some roadblocks to, you know, create good TV. I think there's such an interesting conversation of like what's good TV, what's best for the people involved, what's the real love story versus what's the, you know, cinematic love story. It's all so interesting and convoluted with a show like this.
And the concepts about finding love, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is a TV show. They need the drama. It can't just be, oh, I found the one and that's it. No, we got to add more, of course. All right, moving on, we have some updates on Bachelor Nation fave and Dancing with the Stars contestant, the one and only Kaitlyn Bristowe. First of all, Kaitlyn commented on the latest Wild Bachelorette promo saying she thinks the season is going to be drama-filled, which I think it's safe to say we are all expecting. Kaitlyn killed it week 1 of Dancing with the Stars, earning one of the top 5 scores of the night with her cha-cha to Lady Gaga's Stupid Love. In case you guys missed it, let's take a look at the clip.
Oh my gosh, so good. She killed it.
Yes, she did. Obviously, her performance was amazing, but it was so amazing it caught Lady Gaga herself's attention. Gaga tweeted, "Is it weird that this made me cry? I love watching people happy and dancing." And Kaitlyn replied, "I'm never going to recover from Lady Gaga watching me dance to her song." Next week, Kaitlyn is performing the Foxtrot and her partner explained, "We will take a notch down from all the action and go very classy and very elegant," he said. "We are going to do a really good job for that and hopefully get better scores." Well, this is so exciting for Kaitlyn already on Dancing with the Stars. Not only did Lady Gaga comment on her performance, it made her cry. What do you think about that, Fiona?
Oh my goodness, I am so happy for Kaitlyn. We've talked about this before, but it has been such a long time coming for her to have her Dancing with the Stars moment. It's something she's been manifesting for years, and to get one of the higher scores of the night one, a compliment from Lady Gaga herself, I like can't even imagine how happy she must be. I feel like this moment is so deserved. And you guys, if you're loving Dancing with the Stars, you've got to go check out on our channel. Tyler and I have been talking all things Dancing with the Stars, and we'll keep you updated on the season. We're diving into the best and the worst and all of the things. So go check that out. But for now, I will just say, she has dance training. This is something Tyler and I have talked about at length, but like she has dance training. We think she's gonna be a front runner. Avery, what do you think? I could see her going so far.
I think she'll be a front runner too, and you could tell she has the stage presence. Like you said, she's been manifesting this, so I think she's low-key been preparing the whole time, and she's ready, and it's almost like she already won considering Lady Gaga cried over her first performance. Like, I think that's winning in itself.
Seriously, where do you even go from here? Like, she should just make a list of all of her, like, celeb icons, use their songs. If she can knock Lady Gaga out of the park week 1, the possibilities here are truly endless. I am such a fan of hers and such a fan of her Dancing with the Stars journey, but we do have one little last bit of exciting news. I think this one is going to resonate with some people so much more than others, and you'll see why in a second. So Nick Viall just bought his first home, which is such a milestone, and you guys, it is so freaking nice. He just bought a fabulous 3-bed, 3-bath home in North Hollywood for a casual $1.72 million. Now, if you're like me and you're watching Selling Sunset, which I feel like almost everyone has this quarantine, this little bit of information here might be interesting to you. If not, whatever. The home was originally listed at 1.75. So Mr. Nick negotiated a pretty nice deal for himself, for all you real estate nerds out there. He shared the exciting news with his fans on Instagram saying, 6 years ago, I left a career I really liked for a chance to do something I loved. I did it at a point in my life where the expectation was to settle in and live the life I had. 6 years later, I'm buying my first house and doing what I love. It's never too late to change things up and take a few risks. Some very wise, poised words there from Mr. Nick. I don't really have much to say other than this is some high level, very impressive adult business he has gotten himself into. Buying a home is truly such a milestone, and I'm here for it. I'm very happy for him. What do you think?
Very impressive, and also kind of a steal. He got such a good deal on that, considering it was 1.75 and he got it for 1.72. Okay, Nick. Since his time on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, just Bachelor Nation in general, he's really evolved from that point, and he has his podcast, and then he has another podcast now. So obviously his creative endeavors have paid off.
Oh my gosh, they certainly have. Clearly, you can go, we've said it before, we'll say it again, I'm sure. You can go on The Bachelor, and if you play your cards right, you can have a lifelong career and life full of prosperity. Let's just put it that way.
You could go on and come off, and your life is absolutely changed forever, and you're set.
Truly.
We've seen it many times.
Just gotta find a podcast. You definitely have to have some skills if you're like, I feel like a female contestant. You gotta throw in that influencer hustle pretty quick. Yeah. But it seems like it can be a very happy and fulfilled life. So that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right?
Yes.
All right, you guys, obviously we are thrilled for Nick and could talk Bachelor Nation all day, but that is everything we have to share with you for now. We, of course, want to know your thoughts on everything going on in Bachelor Nation this week, so let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell, because we'll be back here next week talking all things Bachelor again. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. You can follow me on socials at Fiona Zaring. And Avery, where can they find you?
On Instagram and TikTok at Avery Grooms.
I love it. All right, thanks for watching, you guys. We'll see you next time.